3 people are found dead in a New Lisbon home. How neighbors are reacting as police search for a person of interest. And 2024 was a year full of big political moments, especially here in the Badger State. We'll hear how the presidential election impacted state politics. Plus, celebrating the new year, Wisconsin style. How Monroe residents are kicking off the new year early. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. A cool down is on the way for southern Wisconsin as we kick off the new year and maybe even a few flurries. Let's get a look at your first one forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on the weather patio. Blaze.
That's right. We are getting ready to really kick off what could be up to 2 weeks of cooler than average temperatures. And that really begins tonight, but we're going to feel it as we go into your Wednesday, which of course is the new year. A little bit of snow fell this morning. Most of us south of Lodi really didn't see a whole lot. We're looking at a dusting to maybe an inch at best. This is estimating the total snow over the last 24 hours. A lot of that snow melted not only as it was falling to the ground, but once it landed on the ground, because we have been warmer than normal over the last few days, so our ground has warmed up as well. But we are getting ready to celebrate and ring in 2025, maybe getting ready for those parties right now. If you're going to be heading out, know that we're going to be in those upper 20s to low 30s underneath mostly cloudy conditions. It is going to be a bit breezy out there as well, so maybe feeling slightly cooler than where the actual air temperature is, and maybe just a few snowflakes here and there. But for the most part, we're not anticipating any real accumulating snow tonight or really anything to impact your celebrations. Upper 20s to low 30s right now, and again, if you have enjoyed the mild temperatures, you are not going to like the next 10 days, as we are anticipating temperatures to stay pretty much in the 20s, if not the teens, over the next 7 to 10 days. 20s tonight underneath mostly cloudy conditions. We are going to talk all about that cool down and talk about 2 chances for snow moving through the Midwest and whether or not those will impact us into the new year in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you then. Now to an update. UW Health in Madison has released a statement saying the 2 people who were in critical condition following the Abundant Life Christian School shooting are now in stable condition. The statement continues on saying the families are asking a continued respect for privacy and thank American Family Children's Hospital for their continued care. 1 adult and 2 minors are dead in New Lisbon. Police found the bodies in a residence Monday night. With authorities still searching for the person of interest, our Maddie Heim spoke to neighbors on what they're saying and them being on high alert.
I hurried up, ran in my house, locked my doors, shut all the lights off, turned the TV off, hid in the bathroom with my dog.
Christina Johnson and other neighbors tell me at first they didn't think much of the police presence on West Bridge Street.
I had seen the cops, so I had come out my front door and I was being a nosy neighbor, thought it had been a drug bust or someone had been pulled over.
But when they learned the presence was because 3 people in the home behind me were dead, they were terrified.
So I was just standing out here watching, and I had gotten a message from my girlfriend saying, hey, there had been a murder in New Lisbon. Lock your doors. They haven't caught the suspect yet.
The suspect, 47-year-old Virgil Thew. Approximately 150 pounds and 5'10", Thew was last seen wearing a dark coat, blue jeans, and a hat. Police are calling him armed and dangerous.
That's extremely unnerving. When I found out that there was a murder and that he was on the loose, I was, totally terrified.
The bodies were found following a person search that began Sunday night when the Juneau County Sheriff's Office learned 1 minor was missing. That person was last seen with Thew. On Monday, as the New Lisbon Police Department joined the search, they were made aware that another minor was also missing. The search for both brought officers to West Bridge Street. Johnson, who has family also living in town, says the whole community is locking their doors as they wait on more information.
Everybody is terrified.
Police are reminding people that if they see the person of interest, not to approach and to instead call 911 immediately. Reporting in New Lisbon, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Maddie, thank you. Authorities could not tell us when new information would be released, but they say the latest updates will be posted to the New Lisbon Police Department Facebook page. 1 teen is dead and another is in custody after a crash in Waukesha. Monday morning, Waukesha police were called to the intersection of East Sunset Drive and Guthrie Road for a crash. Flight for Life was called to the scene and a 17-year-old was taken to the hospital where they later died. An investigation found that a 19-year-old driver ran a stop sign and hit 2 other vehicles. The 19-year-old is being charged with operating while intoxicated and homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. The Wisconsin Department of Justice is investigating after man is found unresponsive in Madison police custody. The DOJ says officers responded to a report of theft Monday night at the Best Western Hotel on Anna Mark Drive. After chasing a suspect on foot, police took him into custody. When he arrived at the Dane County Jail, he was found unresponsive and taken to a hospital for treatment. The involved officers have been placed on administrative leave as the DOJ investigates. It's been quite a year this year, especially in Wisconsin politics. Political reporter Will Keneally is here breaking down some of the biggest political headlines from 2024.
Yeah, busy year is right. We saw the road to the White House run right through Wisconsin, including the state hosting the Republican National Convention. But that election also had big impacts here in Wisconsin, especially down ballot. Now that combined with a busy legislative session.
Wow, biggest headline from 2024, Senate Democrats flip 4 seats.
We had a good last session, a lot to be proud of. Shared revenue deal, an alcohol bill, save the brewers. We were able to fund literacy in schools, a lot of positive things. So I think I'm optimistic. It's the time of the year where we look ahead and say what else can happen. I know we're going to have a good session, and I'm excited to get it started.
Now that next session could look a little bit different as Democrats have gained more seats after this November's election. Now lawmakers return to the state capitol to get sworn in next week.
Well, thank you. The city of Monroe welcomes in the new year with the classic Wisconsin fashion. Today, Main Street in Monroe hosted a cheese drop in the city's downtown square. Organizers drop a replica block of Limburger cheese at 5 in the afternoon or midnight in Switzerland. This year's event expanded into south and east sides of the city square. Last year, nearly 50 pounds of cheese samples were handed out by the Alpendale Cheese Store. Organizers hope more than double that amount of samples was handed out today. And later at 6, experts provide tips on the best ways to make sure your resolutions stick. And kicking off the new year, the different ways that Madison businesses are celebrating the start of 2025. That and more after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for staying with us. Madison businesses definitely know how to ring in the new year with a variety of different types of parties, activities, and more. Our Armand Rahman shows us how much of a boost the last day of the year can be.
It's not your ordinary Tuesday for businesses in downtown Madison when it's time to ring in the new year.
It got pretty lively last year, and I think we're expecting the same thing this year.
At the Settle Down Tavern on Pinckney Street, Casper Lupa and his other bartenders and servers are prepping for another full bar with standing room.
It's not a usual Tuesday for us.
If the 5 cases of free champagne he says they're getting doesn't give that away.
On Tuesdays, we're usually open till 10, and we only have 1 bartender, but we're willing to accommodate today and have people here till midnight. And then we'll probably stay open a little longer than that.
Lupa says more people are looking for a different kind of party in their last hours of the year.
We won't have the dance floor, so it's definitely a chiller vibe. You can sit down and get more intimate with people on the last day of the year.
If you're looking for less chill but more daylight.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, everybody.
Don't worry, you didn't miss midnight.
Kids love, their favorite part of New Year's is counting down. They don't care what time it is.
Madison's Children's Museum threw an outdoor dance party and human ball drop several times during the day, and they say they've seen more families stop by over the past 4 years.
We find parents are looking for something to do that's festive with their kids, but that doesn't involve keeping their kids awake until midnight or even, 9 p.m.
Staff says they see the effect New Year's has on the downtown economy.
Some businesses have a little bit of a lull between Christmas and New Year's, but New Year's is definitely a festive time to be downtown.
For a full list of things to do on New Year's Eve, you can head over to channel3000.com. For now, reporting in downtown Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. The Children's Museum will also be open for New Year's Day tomorrow. And when we return, Blaze tells us about the cold start to 2025. Plus, staying motivated in the new year, what psychologists say you can do to keep up with your New Year's resolution goals.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Less than 6 hours away now, so many people may be vowing to do something different in the new year. But staying motivated to achieve those goals can be pretty hard. Psychologists with Cleveland Clinic say there are simple ways to set yourself up for success in 2025. When setting resolutions, be specific and realistic and set a goal of working out a certain number of days a week for a specific amount of time. Psychologists say to also try habit stacking. Pairing two habits together can help keep those behaviors going.
So, for example, if you drink your cup of coffee every morning routinely, and you want to start getting moving and exercising, that very next behavior after you have your cup of coffee, maybe go for a walk, do some stretches, do some yoga.
Psychologists say to also focus on process goals, not outcome goals. Practice self-compassion and get some support. With the new year comes some cooler temps, unfortunately, unless you like that type of weather. Meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us now. Blaze?
That's right. We kind of first warned you about this about a week ago, that we were eyeing the chance for some cooler temperatures, and they are set to stick around possibly over the next 2 weeks. So maybe the first half of January being cooler than average. Tonight, though, as we're ringing in the new month and the new year, we're looking at mostly cloudy conditions and maybe just a few lingering flurries. We've got a low pressure system exiting the Midwest that brought that snow earlier today. By the second half of your Wednesday, starting off the new year with some decreasing cloud cover. So maybe some few peaks of sunshine there before we go overnight into Thursday. And speaking of Thursday, another little blip of energy is going to move through parts of the Midwest, but it is looking to stay to our south. Much like today, maybe our southernmost communities, mainly south of even Dane County at this point, picking up maybe a dusting to a half an inch at best. And then with our series of high pressure systems coming in out of the northwest, they really clear out the clouds. So if you've been itching for some sunny days, they are in the forecast, but it comes at a cost. You're going to want to dress up if you're going outside, because we are going to be cold. There's a look at our estimated snow come Friday morning. So this would be throughout Thursday. As I said, most of us, even south of Dane County, probably only picking up about a half an inch to an inch, or excuse me, a dusting to a half an inch at best. Now, there has been some rumors flying around about a system moving through Sunday into Monday of our weekend going into next week. It is going to move through the Midwest, but really lower portions of the Midwest. The reason is because as these high pressure systems come out of Canada, especially during winter, they are very strong and they act like a big kind of force field, pushing weaker systems like this low further kind of around its bubble, if you will. So as long as we continue to see high pressure systems here, this system on Sunday will likely stay further to our south and east. If that were to change, we'll of course keep you updated. But the bigger picture is the cool down, the prolonged cool down. We have about a medium risk of kind of sitting underneath these cooler than average temperatures from the 8th through the 14th of January. And that even starts before that, really tomorrow. So over the next maybe 14 days or so, we're going to be cooler than average. The reason is because of this very large ridge off to our west, moving in warmer air to parts of the West Coast as well as Alaska and along the Canadian coast here. The cold air that's there now has to move to make room for that cooler air. So where does it go? It's going to land here across eastern parts of the United States and especially across the Midwest and the Carolina coast there. So don't put away your winter coats yet. And it is going to be cold with highs in the 20s tomorrow. That's going to be our probably warmest day over the next 7, at least over the next 10 as well. Maybe slightly cooler there on Thursday. Isolated snow chances Thursday and then Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But our models really want to keep the coldest of the cold air away until maybe the end of next week. As I said, we'll keep you guys updated as we go through these next few days of just how cold we will be.
And coming up in sports, it's round 3 between Wisconsin and Ohio State, while the Badgers say the Buckeyes are the perfect opponent to ring in the new year. That's next on News 3 Now. After almost a month off, the Badger women's hockey team is back on the ice for a huge series to open up the second half of their season. Their opponent, none other than Ohio State. Yes, that Buckeye team who handed the Badgers their lone loss of the year. Like the first meeting, it's a top two showdown between the last two national champs, and Mark Johnson's squad wouldn't want it any other way.
They always are one of the toughest teams to play against, so it'd be a good test to see how we can handle, playing against such a good team coming off a break.
Every time we play them, it's the toughest game, and so we're excited for that. And those are the games that you have circled on your calendar. Those are the ones that are most fun to play. So we're excited for that, but I think it is such a great opponent to play, and there's a lot of rivalry there.
Well, speaking of the women's hockey team, Layla Edwards will be our guest for next week's Wisconsin Huddle, and you can come out to a live taping of the show on Monday, January 6th at our new home, Pooley's Sports Bar in Madison. Taping starts at 7. We hope to see you there. Mike Hastings is in the middle of a crazy 8-day stretch. Over the weekend, Wisconsin got 2 wins in Milwaukee and returned to Madison with a holiday face-off championship. But they're not home long. Thursday, they're playing in East Lansing, and then they'll head to Chicago to wrap up their series with Michigan State. It's a lot of travel, but that means not a lot of practices, something the guys enjoy, along with no school right now.
I do think they like the old days of playing junior hockey where they were able to go to the rink, practice, prepare, maybe get a workout in, leave the rink, and not go to physics class. And so school's on break. I think they're enjoying that. I'm seeing a lot of energy when the guys are walking in.
Final game of 2024 for the Badger women, Wisconsin hosting Minnesota. Badgers started in a big hole, down 23 early. They battled back. Ronnie Porter stops and pops for 2 of her 13 points to cut into that lead. And then it was Sarah Williams' turn. She spins and wins for 2 of her game-high 16, but it wasn't enough. Badgers fall 59-50. But down 23, came all the way back.
Yeah, what do you think is up with
positive.
these slow starts? Any idea? No?
No.
New year, new team.
Yeah,
no worries.
I like that.
But as we bid farewell to 2024, we want you to meet the staff that brings you the best news coverage all year long. Here are the faces of News 3 Now, wishing you a happy new year. I didn't know he worked here.
Yeah.
But that would explain why the studio in the newsroom is so festive.
I think he brought all these.
You know,
That would
these are
make sense.
deadly to cats.
I didn't know that.
So if you have a cat,
Please.
don't put those out. Well, I'm just letting people know. Some people don't know.
That's fair, because they are all over the place this holiday
Yes.
season.
Zach,
Hey.
I'm just looking out for the cats across the viewing area, and it seems like you are making fun of that. As we are ringing in the new year, cloudy and breezy, we're hanging out in the mid to upper 20s, and then the cool down arrives and sticks around through the middle of January.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you back here